If I ask you to name me the best web browser, there are some pretty good contenders. Maybe you'll say something like Brave or Vivaldi. If you're bought into the marketing, maybe you'll say Opera GX. If you don't like a Chromium base, you might say Firefox or maybe the Tor browser. And let me know down below what your favorite browser is. But what about the opposite end of the spectrum? Not the best web browser, but the worst. Now, you might say Chrome, Safari, Edge. But all of these browsers, whilst I don't like them and many of you probably don't either, they're all trying to be good in their own way. I don't like their definition of good, but at least they're trying. What about a browser that is actively trying to be bad? This browser is exactly that. This is Piss and Shittium. This is a browser that is not trying to be good. This is just a meme browser. It is such a bad web browser that it doesn't have a Linux build yet. Now, when we're talking about making a Chromium fork and distributing it on Linux, there's nothing really that needs to be done here. You need to make a package which, because it's a very light fork, you can just copy an existing package and just put your binary there instead. And there you go. You're done. The only time-consuming part of this is compiling Chromium, which, granted, is fairly time-consuming. It's such a bad web browser that you can't use it on Linux without compiling it from source. And the website is so very well made that you can't copy the text. Now, this is something you have to go out of your way to actively break. This made making this video a lot more annoying. I like to copy headings, chuck them in my notes. I had to go and manually write everything down just to talk about this stupid browser. What makes this such a bad web browser? Well, luckily, the dev lists out the features. Firstly, we have unrivaled inefficiency. Our browser is guaranteed to use more system resources than any other browser on the market. Your computer didn't need that RAM anyway, right? Invasive ads. Enjoy a browsing experience filled with so many ads, you'll forget what you were originally searching for. Who doesn't love a good pop-up ad now and then? Lack of privacy. Why browse anonymously when you can share your data with the entire world? We believe in open source, especially when it comes to your personal information. Non-existent customer support. Got a problem? Good luck with that. Our customer support is as elusive as Bigfoot. Frequent crashes. Our browser crashes so often it could be a feature in a demolition derby. But hey, everyone needs a break sometimes, right? And slow loading times. Patience is a virtue, and our browser is here to teach you that. Watch as websites load slower than a snail racing through peanut butter. You know what? That actually is a feature if you ask some of the old ThinkPad users. I have heard people say the old ThinkPads are great because you can step away and do something else while your code's compiling. You can go make a coffee and things like that. Now, for the record, all of this is nonsense. It doesn't have any of these features. This was AI generated. What about the real features? Well, it doesn't really have many of those. It has funny strings. We're changing quite a few strings so it becomes a little funnier. Includes latest 21st century humor, privacy scandals, and more. I expect to see some skibbity toilet references and other Zoomer humor because we're making poop jokes, so it's gotta be Zoomer humor. That's pretty much the only thing that fits. Easter eggs, which is the same thing as this one. Hidden beneath the app are some Easter eggs and references to whatever I want to add. Expect a harmless surprise coming your way. I like that these are two separate features because it allows you to have this nice 3x2 grid. And I'm pretty sure the author just couldn't think of anything else. You have 3 new color schemes, which to my surprise, aren't actually that terrible. You know, they're not super great. I don't like the green one. I don't really like this one. But that's fine. Like, you know, what the hell is going on with the text up here? What is... How do you even do that? That's impressively bad. You get access to the Google API, so you can sign in to your Google account. Yay! It's open source. We believe in open source software, so we're making changes visible to the public eye, just like regular Chromium. If you don't believe in builds provided, feel free to compile it yourself. So you just forked the Git repo and just left it public. Not really a feature, and there's not really much happening in the repo. It's pretty much just pulled in Chromium changes. But hey, that's nice, I guess. We'll get back to this repo in just a moment. But the most important feature, as should be pretty self-evident, I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I just tried to fix bugs, but the code base was very unstable. The code is unstable by nature, but you'll get to try the latest Chrome feature. I'm sure that's going to be the case. The last time it pulled in anything was last week, which is when the project started. So it has 1.3 million commits because it forked directly off the repo. There hasn't been anything new made. It's just forked off the repo. The weirdest thing about this browser is it does have an issue tracker that does have serious issues in it. Right now, it's just 2 of them because the project basically just started. But let's actually have a look at them. The first one being basing it off stable. So I'd like to remake this and build it upon a stable version of Chromium. The code base for real Chromium simply is too unstable to be used, let alone daily drive, to do. Redo the entire thing based on stable, parity with current Piston Shittium build. And the second one being memory leak after opening settings. It froze after entering settings. Now, the person making these issues is the creator of the project. So I'm not entirely sure what they're doing here. Like, this one makes sense, but this one, I don't know why they made it. Are they trying to start up the idea of, shit posting on this repo and just starting up these joke issues about things that nobody is ever going to be able to address because nobody here is actually a Chromium dev? I'm not sure why this issue is here. If this was a serious browser, this would make sense as an issue being made. But don't forget, this is the name of the project. This is a meme browser. There is nothing serious about this. So why is there a serious issue here? I don't know. Now, just in case this wasn't enough poop jokes for you, there is this in the FAQ. Do you plan to do this with Firefox? Yes. And it'll be called Poopin' Fartin' Fox. Peak comedy. Is it safe to use this? Yes, if you so desire to daily drive this browser. It's pretty much safe to I always like pretty much safe. That's always a good way to start anything. But we don't recommend you use it as your main, as it can be quite unstable. Well, if it never gets any more patches, it's going to be pretty stable. Just like Xorg is. Is this a virus? No, it's a Chromium. Also, it's open source. You can compile it yourself if you want to. Or, don't do that. And instead, just go and compile literally any other Chromium fork. This is a joke project, and whilst it's less than a week old right now, I do hope it continues and just goes absolutely hard with the joke. Start removing basic features. Start breaking things. Start having really stupid things show up every time you try to do anything. Try to implement some of these anti-features in the project. That would be absolutely incredible. A basic thing, like every time you try to open a web page, it does a 5-second sleep, for example, or it just opens up fake pop-up ads everywhere, or you have this random timer that is set that just causes the application to kill itself. All of those would be hilarious features, and I hope the dev continues this project and actually makes it the worst web browser ever. But for now, it's a really neat concept, and if you got some free time and you want to mess around with a project that's not at all serious, this might be the best place to go. If you want to make some joke issues, if you want to start making some joke merge requests, you want to start removing features, check this project out, and I'm sure the dev will appreciate you. This is the one time I can tell you to go and grief a project, and it's not actually a bad thing. It's nice to be able to do that for once. So, let me know your thoughts down below. This was another fun video. Sometimes it's nice to do something that's just not completely serious. Next time there might be a serious one though. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, if you liked the video, go like the video. And if you really liked the video and you want to become one over these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon subscribes to the Brodie linked in the description down below. I should probably slow down the way I do this outro. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. And let me know the worst web browser. Maybe it's this one. Maybe you got a better option.
Like this.